Hi everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We're very excited to have you today. Thank you for joining. Um, we're gonna wait some. We're gonna wait for the late registers. Maybe before we get started, can you confirm that you can hear me well? You'll find a little chat box at the bottom right where you can type your response. Can you see it?
Yes,
You're
Matt
good.
is saying
Amazing.
that.
Hey Matt. Hey Antonio. Hey Manix.
Hi, everyone.
Great. So today we're diving into a shift that is reshaping how restaurants are discovered. As you know, for years, SEO has been the backbone of online visibility, especially for restaurants. But here today, there is a new era. And it's a new era in which AI decides which restaurants get appear and which restaurants get invisible. So this new paradigm is what we will be calling GEO today. GEO for Generative Engine Optimization. Is everyone familiar with the SEO? You all know what is SEO? GEO, you know now, but SEO. You good with SEO? Cool. So before we explore this shift together and what it means for your business, let me quickly introduce myself, Malou, and MIS, and also why we decided to host this session. So let's go. My name is Louisa. I am the co-founder and CEO of Malou. And with me, MIS, who is our product marketing manager and has been in the local marketing industry for almost 5 years already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, everyone.
So let me give you a better let me switch. Let me give you a better understanding on who we are, the context, so that you can understand why we're today hosting this webinar. I launched Malou 8 years ago in Paris, as you can hear with my terrible French accent. And I launched Malou after living in New York City, actually, for a few months. And while I was living in New York City, I got the idea of Malou because I was spending all my time searching for restaurants online and spending all my money in the restaurants I was actually finding online. And when I get back to Paris, when I moved back to Paris, I started to ask some of the restaurant owners I knew whether they knew where their customers were actually coming from. And this was the big surprise for me because they had no idea. They could recognize some very loyal customers. They could identify the customers coming from the third party platforms, and they had to pay commissions for them actually. But they had no idea on where the rest were coming from. So that's when I decided to actually start Malou. I trained myself on local SEO, online reputation. I launched a blog in which I was sharing all my learnings to help restaurant operators understand what they had to do to improve their online visibility. And so after that blog, I launched an agency, 2018 in Paris, an agency that was dedicated exclusively to restaurants. In that agency, we had three expertise: local SEO, online reputation, and social media, only for restaurants. And thanks to that expertise, we were able to build a product, an expert product for restaurants that was actually helping us as an agency being more efficient and more productive. With that product that we launched in 2020, we were able to double the productivity of the team without sacrificing the customer satisfaction, having actually even a better customer satisfaction. And we then decided to offer this product, this solution, to some restaurant operators. They loved it, and we grew year after year. And today we're helping more than 3,000 restaurants across 15 countries to improve their online visibility and to manage their customer feedback so that they can make sure they keep offering the best experience to their clients. And so Do you have any questions so far? Hi, Sergio. Just so you're connected. No question. Amazing. So the restaurants, hi. So we're from Paris actually right now. The way restaurants are now using Malou, they use Malou actually for six main reasons. They use our platform to update the information across all platforms in one click, such as the hours or the menu. They also use Malou to identify the keywords that can drive more traffic organically. We don't do ads, we only do organically. And they execute their keyword strategy within our platform. We also help them collect more customer reviews, respond to those reviews, analyze these customer reviews, and also manage the social media and build strong local pages on their website. All this, they can do it by themselves, or we can run it from them as a service company, depending on their needs. And so, what makes us unique is that we combine three layers of value. We have the industry expertise in hospitality. We have a strong tech stack, and we develop algorithms that are trained only on restaurants. And we do have this service layer, meaning dedicated experts who make sure the solution is bringing you the best results. So we've built a strong expertise over the past years. And today, I can tell you with confidence that the shift we're experiencing with the AI revolution is bigger than anything we have ever seen in the marketing scene. And at Malou, sharing has always been part of our DNA. I created the blog even before the company to share those learnings. So I really want this webinar to be useful for you. Please feel free to ask any question you might have. There is no dumb question. And really, the purpose of this session is to be truly valuable for you. So, what we're going to see today together. Today's menu will be first understanding why exactly AI is disrupting local discovery. Then we'll try to understand how to now rank on those with AI as a restaurant. Then we'll share with you the 6 rules that we recommend you follow to win visibility in AI answers. Then we'll share with you a few concrete examples of how restaurants are currently improving their online performance. And then we'll keep some time. If you have additional questions, we'll be extremely happy to respond them. So now let's start with the big picture. Why am I telling you that AI is disrupting the local discovery so dramatically? First, AI has completely changed the way people are searching. They no longer use keywords to search. Instead, they're taking the time to express exactly what they're looking for. They use full sentences for that. And they're prompting, that's what they're doing. So queries, they're now on average 3 times longer and 10 times deeper in context. As a result, AI search engines respond much more precisely instead of giving 20 results like on the first Google page that we used to have. And that provide one answer that usually can include 1 to 5 recommendation options. And that's what happens on tools like ChatGPT or even Perplexity. And even when people continue to search on Google, they now get what we call an AI overview. On top of the screen, it gives them exactly the type of condensed answer I just described before. So the thing is, and a good example is that today, the average click-through rate for position 1 on Google dropped by 34%. So this is really a big shift. And we have more numbers that are showing that AI is genuinely changing the game. I'm just going to share with you 3 numbers. First, 1 out of 5 users prefer today to use AI tools to find restaurants and bars. So AI is clearly here acting as a primary search engine. And what's interesting here is that it's not just Gen Z or Gen X behavior. Even older users are now searching with AI. And I'm going to give you a very concrete example. I was speaking with one of our investors a few days ago. He's an investor, so he has money and he loves fine dining. And regularly, he spends hundreds of dollars per meal. And you know what he told me? He doesn't trust Google on Yelp reviews anymore because he feels they don't match his taste level. So what he does, he trusts ChatGPT. And because he believes and he had the proof that ChatGPT now understands better his preferences. It's the case for younger generation. As you know, 86% of younger adults are also trusting AI review summaries. And AI is also shaping the purchase intent in hospitality. And it's the second industry where people are actually taking buying decisions on with AI. So with all that information, you may be wondering, okay, has GEO completely replaced SEO? Is SEO dead? So that's a question I'm going to ask Amayes. Do you think, as an expert in local marketing, that local SEO is dead?
Yeah, so this is I think the question that I got like the most in the last few weeks, few months, and to make it very clear and to be very clear about it, SEO is not dead. And I liked what Alberto said in the comment section. He's saying SEO is the backbone, and I think I definitely agree with you, Alberto, because as you can see some numbers here, Google still handles billions of searches every day. And by the way, I had the opportunity to speak with our colleagues from Google 2 weeks ago, as we were invited in their offices in London to actually speak about the future of local discovery. And guess what? Google is actually doubling down their investments on Google Business Profile, and they are making their roadmap match the local discovery challenges. So it isn't dead at all, and it's not going to die tomorrow for sure. So what has truly changed actually is how the content that you are providing today is used by the algorithms. So the content, what I want you to keep in mind, this is the really big idea of it, is that content is no longer a destination where users land, but it becomes a source that feeds AI answers. So that means that all what you do today to improve your SEO, as Alberto was saying it, like to improve your local visibility is still valid, but yet some things are evolving that we are going to see later with Louisa. But that means also that you are no longer competing about clicks, but you are competing to be selected in one AI answer. And that's exactly what GEO is, and that's what we are going to tackle in the second part. And something that I wanted also to share with you is that the logical questions when we see all these AI evolutions, the question that I got asked also is what really decides if AI picks your restaurant or not? So this is something that we are going to see right now. Actually, we are entering at what we call the agentic AI era. So AI doesn't just answer questions anymore, it also starts to take actions. And this is really important to keep in mind because AI now, it evolves so fast that it can today compare options, retrieve menus, retrieve opening hours, but it also in some environments like ChatGPT, for example, it already triggers bookings by itself. So you just ask AI for a recommendation for a restaurant, and it will book for you a restaurant. And this journey from discovery to decision shows a conversion rate that inside AI that reaches 6.7 compared to about 3.9 on Google. So it's mostly the double of conversion rate. And I think there was a question on the chat about the conversion rates. So we see that AI converts even more than Google. And I guess the third question that I got asked after that is how do you make sure that these digital tools or the AI agents choose your restaurant in this case? And that's exactly what we are going to see in the next part. We are going to try to be as concrete as possible with Louisa, giving you some tips, showing you examples on how it works. And what we did actually is that we analyzed thousands of restaurant brands across our platform to try to understand one thing: how does like AI actually make decisions? And the biggest insight that we had is that AI doesn't reward individual SEO pages anymore, but it rewards the most consistent and trusted entities across all the channels. So we summarized all of our study into 6 core geo rules that we are going to share with you, starting with the first one, the basics. So starting with the basics, Google. I think you'll hear a lot about Google today, but it still has a big impact on your SEO, but also on your GEO. So the first thing that we learned from our study is that the brands that performs best are the ones that have, without any surprise, fully complete listings. But there are some specific fields that you have to keep in mind, that you have to fill in your Google listings. They are the menus. Menus are very important to keep in mind. We see a lot of customers or a lot of restaurants that still have pictures like images as menus. But the best way to improve your ranking in AI is to have a structured menu, meaning that a textual menu with descriptions about the dishes, very specific with keywords and so on. This is the first tip I can give you. And Google, when we spoke to them 2 weeks ago, they were really insisting on menus, but also on connecting your listing to your local pages. Meaning that, as you can know, like on Google, you have your website link. And there, if you are a multi-location group, the link that you have to provide to Google isn't the link of your website, but the link of each location local page, if you have a store locator or store finder. So this is a few tips, but also you have to have the right categories, right attributes, have your description with the right keywords and so on. And sometimes what we know is that for multi-location groups, doing it manually can be time consuming. And that's why I will promote a bit Malou, but solutions like ours will help you manage like 100 of Google profiles in bulk from a single dashboard. And this is the first beginning point to improve your AI visibility. Second point is that Google alone isn't enough, because AI also and it always cross-checks your information before trusting it. So this is not only Google, but it will also check all the other information that you have in other platforms like Yelp, TripAdvisor, and so on. And the thing that you have to keep in mind is that AI is obsessed with one thing: is consistency. So having the same hours on all your listings, having the same information, and so on. So if you have, for example, an opening hour that is different from Yelp to Google and TripAdvisor, AI won't trust your location and it will not recommend it in the results. So consistency is the keyword. So keep your information consistent across all your platforms. So up to this point, or maybe it's something that you can do, that's why I put on the right side of the screen, we have a diagnostic a tool that allows you to run an audit on your locations to see if there are any inconsistencies on your locations. You have the link there. We will share it with you afterwards. And I think, Louisa, you've already shared it on the chat. Don't hesitate to take a look, and it will tell you if there are any inconsistencies on your locations. So first we said Google, the basics. Second, consistency. And the third one is having fresh, optimized content. So it is not sufficient to just put all your information once and then keep it like that. You have to refresh your content regularly, because AI, it sends a recency signal to AI, which is a really good signal for it. So simply because stale brands are perceived as less active, less relevant, and therefore less trustworthy, when they have like inconsistencies and no recency in their content. So an inactive restaurant will slowly disappear from AI answers if you don't have this fresh content. And when I talk about fresh content, it means posting regularly on Google Posts, have regular updates if you have any new menu, new offers, if you have any social media. We'll explain it more, but social media posts are really important. And also having a continuous review collection, because AI also likes UGC, so user generated content, and reviews are part of UGC. So this is something that is very important for AI. And I think Louisa, maybe you can take the rest of the topics, talking about customer reviews.
Yes, exactly. So I might just respond to Antonio on his question on what constitutes a Google post. So I'm going to share with you my screen this way. So a Google post is you take a Google page, a Google listing profile. If you scroll down, you see the reviews from different platforms such as Uber Eats, but you'll be able also to see Yelp or TripAdvisor. You have some DoorDash reviews here. You see, when we were mentioning that Google is connected to every platforms, they really take information from all those platforms, so that they cross-check that you're having the same hours on Google and the same menu. That's what you're showing up on those platforms. And also they're presenting the reviews from different platforms. And right here you have two things that will be important for you, both for the SEO and for the GEO. The first one is the description. We do recommend you to publish a long description using many keywords on your the Google listing profile. And in addition to that, we recommend you to share at least on a weekly basis what we call the Google posts. So Google posts, they are a picture, a text, a picture that has been renamed with keywords actually, a text that is also filled with keywords, and a call to action. So those are the Google posts, and you can create them directly on your Google listing page. Alberto is asking, what is a good visibility score? Usually, I would say starting 80%, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Between 50 to 79, it's okay, so. And below 50, not great. But we're speaking tomorrow, Alberto. That's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. And so let me get back to the presentation right here. Good. And so as Amaya has started to mention it, reviews are also extremely important because customer reviews, they help you build trust. And AI systems rely heavily on them. So our recommendation is simple. Collect as many reviews as possible. Reviews from your customers. I'm not asking you to buy reviews from China or India. No, collect real reviews from your current customers. And for that, you have different options. We do recommend you to train your staff to ask for those reviews, and to make it easier for them, we recommend you to use whether QR codes or NFC devices. Let me show you one. So we do have some small QR codes like this on Malou. We also have NFC devices on which people can just scan to get to a landing page to give you those reviews. And once an AI algorithm and Google, they love seeing you getting more reviews because they're going to trust you even more. In addition to that, once you start receiving hundreds of new reviews, we also strongly recommend you responding to them. Google and AI love that. And it reinforces trust because you're showing that you're actually an operator who cares about customer feedback. And of course, you should always analyze that feedback to keep improving your operations and your overall satisfaction. Do you all respond to your customer reviews? That's a good question, Alberto. What about automated answers? We do recommend, if you're doing the job well and you're getting hundreds of reviews, it would be too complicated and too hard and too time consuming to respond manually to all of them. So of course, we recommend you to automate some of the responses. Usually we recommend to automate the responses to all the reviews without comment, to all the reviews 4 and 5 stars with comment. But for the 1, 2, and 3 stars, you can use AI to draft you a response, but we'll still recommend you to keep a human validation to make sure you're understanding and you're responding the best way possible. Good to know, Sergio. And can you remind me, Sergio, how many locations you're operating? I forgot you said it at the FS Tech in September, but I forgot 30. Great. The rule number 5 is about the local pages on the website. I have a question for you. Is everyone familiar with the difference between a brand website and a local page on a website? No. So let me show you what's the difference. I'm going to share another screen with you that you have a good understanding. Let me switch my screen. Okay, what's the difference between a brand page and let me check how I can do that properly. Okay, can you see my new screen?
I can see it. I don't know
Okay.
if everyone. Let me just make it bigger. I think it's good. All good for everyone.
Can you see?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me just check. Krispy Kreme. This is, okay, let me just change it. This is a brand website. I'm on the website of Krispy Kreme France. I have some nice picture. I have some cool text. I have a view of the menu. I have different things. This is the brand page, the values, all those kind of things. Then,
I think, Louisa, I think we are seeing the local page from. I don't know.
Let me correct that.
Yeah. No, it's.
Are you good?
Yeah.
So this is my brand website, sharing the taglines, the values, some cool things on the menu, all those kind of things. This is the brand page. Now, this is the store locator right here, when I can see all my location. And right here is my local page. And the difference is very strong. The difference is the brand website is a simple website, if I could call it like this. But the local page is structured in a way that the AI algorithm are understanding that we're not referring to a brand, we're referring to a specific location. And what makes a location? A location is a store with an address, a phone number, some hours, a menu, some reviews. So we're directly referring to a local page. And this is my 5th rule for you. We do recommend you to have those local pages in addition to your brand website. And on this local page, need to be well built, of course, and need to share updated and fresh content. So updated content means your hours, the same way you're updating your hours on Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, those kind of things, you need to update those information on your website. Christmas is coming. If I'm going on the 24th, 25th, I'm going on the store locator of Krispy Kreme, I want to see if the store I'm willing to visit will be open or closed today, the day I'm seeing it. So the hours, they need to be updated on a daily basis. The menu too, and also the reviews. We do recommend you to show, let me show back. Let me show you right here. We do recommend you to, no, you're not seeing the right one here. We do recommend you also to feature some of the reviews on your local page. Some reviews, obviously, that are linked to this specific location, but also some reviews that have 5 stars, ideally, that have a long comment mentioning the keywords you want to be working on. And this should be dynamic. You shouldn't just select you shouldn't just select 8 reviews you find cool and you let them on the local page. No, they need to be updated. So for now, if you go to this Krispy Kreme location and you give a 5 stars with great comments, your review would be showing up on the website, because we want it to be updated so that AI algorithm, they understand that you are sharing a high quality content that is actually updated. In addition to the fresh content, we do recommend you to also feature your social media page and to have a good high page speed. Is everyone familiar with the page speed or not? No. No. Okay, amazing. I'm going to show you what is the page speed. So basically, to have a performing store locator, the store locator is the aggregate of all your local pages. You need to have websites that are very speed to appear. You don't want to have to wait seconds to see the pictures on your screen. And if your pages are not speed enough, well, Google and ChatGPT and Perplexity and all of them, they would rank them poorly and prevent you from being featured on the AI results. So you have a free website actually built by Google. I'm going to show you it with you right here. And on this website, you can just give your URL website and you're going to have an analysis on your page performance. On this, we recommend you to have at least 90 plus on every every step, from performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. You can run the test. It takes a few seconds, and then you'll be able to understand whether your page speed is currently good or not. In addition to that, those local pages, they need to be well technically structured so that AI can read them extremely easily. How to make that? You need to have an FAQ. Congrats, Alberto, that's very nice. And you need to have what we call an FAQ. FAQ, AI, they love that. The FAQ looks like here, can be something really, really simple, with questions that look like actually like queries, like the queries we saw on the first part, and how people are expressing today their need on search. So we do recommend you to have FAQ on those local pages. We also do recommend you to have a good schema org markup. Let me show you what it means. It means that right here, you want the page to be extremely well structured, so that the AI robot, they can understand that you are mentioning the, let me, it's not here, restaurant, that you're mentioning the phone number, the menu, the price range, the address, everything that can help the AI understand. You need to have it coded on your local page. Any question on that? I'll share with you also. It's a free tool, so that you can check your website, your local page structure. That's a good question. How come the page high speed result is different from mobile and desktop? Do you have the response to that, MIS?
Yeah, it's actually it's taking into consideration the type of mobile that you have and the response. Like if you have like a 4G or 5G network, or if you are connecting from a computer, the way that data loads is not the same on the two devices. So result may vary from a device to another. So yeah.
And the sixth rule is what we call the high authority mentions. And this includes PR, PR mentions, website mentions, blog mentions. They will help you actually build more credibility to get more trust from both Google and AI algorithm. So I know PR can be very expensive, especially in the US. So if you don't have the budget and you're not willing to spend thousands of dollars in PR, that's fine. You can still follow the 5 rules we've shared with you, and try to get some local blogs mentioned about your restaurants, and this will also have a great impact on your restaurant. You can also, if you have a brand, I think you need to have a few locations to do that, but you can also create your Wikipedia page. This will recommend you to have a few locations because Wikipedia is not accepting all the independent restaurants to have their own page. But if you have a group like Sergio, for example, for you, might be or Gustavo, might be a good idea to have and document a Wikipedia page. And Reddit is also a very good question. We do recommend you to spend some time on Reddit to mention your restaurants. But our work is to be very specific and not to look like a robot. And for example, we've run a lot of, we spend our time running tests to make sure we have the best insights and the most up-to-date insights. And actually trying to automate Reddit is a wrong idea because they're really, really good in identifying any automation action. So we do recommend you to do it manually. We don't do it for clients, Alberto, but I'll be happy to share you some free advice about how to improve this tomorrow if you want. So you can screenshot that if you want. Here are the 6 rules we've seen together. First one, spend some time updating and filling your Google Business Profile. What comment, Joanna, you're referring to? I'm waiting for Joanna's feedback. In the meantime, I'll review the 6 rules with you. First, Google Business Profile. Fill all the topics. Fill every information. If you don't take cash, that's fine. Just mention that. Just say no, I don't take cash. If you have any happy hour, or if you don't, just mention it. You need to have an extremely complete Google Business Profile. On this Google profile, we do recommend you to make sure the information is updated. It means that if you're planning Christmas is coming, New Year's Eve is coming, if you do nothing, the hours will be written in orange letter saying, hey, those are the hours, but might be different because it's a special day, it's a holiday. You don't want that because ChatGPT and Google, they will remind that you haven't updated those hours for the special day. And your clients that might come to the restaurant and might be disappointed because actually you were open on Google, but you were actually closed for real. So this Google Business Profile, you need to take extremely care of.
Just to add on that something, Louisa, as I said, we were talking with Google in the last few weeks, and they told us that they are even thinking on adding new fields on the Google business listings because queries coming from people are sometimes so much complex that all the data that you need to answer these queries are not available on Google listings. So that's why we recommend to make it filled 100%. And it's because it's really, this information is very important for AI overviews. And tomorrow there will be new fields that you will need to fill in also. So.
And to respond to your question, Johanna, when we talked about referring to the restaurant with manual description, so my point when I was speaking about Reddit, maybe. So my thing is we can use AI and automation to respond to reviews, to schedule the Google posts, schedule even the social media posts. This you can do with automation. But when it comes to Reddit, the topics are extremely specific, and you need to whether launch discussions on Reddit about a cuisine, a trend, or anything, and you need to respond to that. And on this, they're very good at identifying any automation. So if you want to execute a Reddit strategy, we recommend you to do it manually. And if you don't, that's fine because you have so many things to do already with what we've shared with you. So that's not mandatory. Second rule, Google, as you know, as you've seen on my screen, is connected to every platform. So you cannot decide to work on Google and just on Google, believing that it's going to be good to have a good SEO or good GEO. No, you need to make sure you exist on all the possible listings, and that in all those listings you have actually accurate and updated information. For that, I remind you, you can run the Malou analysis, the Malou diagnosis. Takes a few seconds and it will tell you exactly how many inconsistencies you have today online. The third rule is about the reviews. We absolutely do recommend you to collect as many reviews as possible as you can from your current customers, of course, and we recommend you to respond to all those reviews. The first rule is we recommend you to share optimized content on your local page, such as those reviews, those fresh reviews, you can feature them on the local page, the FAQ, the Google post, everything that can be updated, we do recommend you to share it. And the fifth is we recommend you to have a well-structured local store locator in which the information will be updated on a daily or weekly basis. And the sixth rules was about the articles that the media mentions. We do recommend you to get what we used to call actually the backlinks. Having medias, blogs, Wikipedia, Reddit, any platforms that is not a listing that can mention you and ideally mention you with a link to your location. Is that clear? You want to complete something, Amayas?
Yeah, something on the optimized content maybe that we didn't mention a lot today is the social media posts. There is something that you need to switch also on your way on creating content on social media, meaning Instagram, TikTok, and so on. First, because now these posts are featured on Google, they are indexed by Google, and they are taken into consideration by AI to recommend you. So, knowing that, you have sometimes a lot of restaurants or businesses, they post really nice reels with a nice video, nice images, but the post isn't optimized. So you have to post with intent, meaning that when you create a post, you have to make sure that this post, as I said, as it is indexed by Google and AI, you need to make sure that in your description you have the right keywords, you have the right messages that you want to push to AI. For example, dishes, opening hours, special offers, and so on. You have to make it even more detailed than before.
Thank you, Mayas. We have a question from Barry. Barry is asking if responding to poor reviews that are not from genuine experiences or have inappropriate comments will reduce the chance that you can have Google remove them. The response is no. We do recommend you to respond to those reviews for a different reason. First, you can still flag them so that Google understands that you want to take them off. But in the meantime, because it can take time or it can take forever actually before Google removes them, even if they seem unfair. But what we do recommend you to do for unfair negative review is to respond to them very basically. And we have two ways of responding. First, if the review is mentioning something that is no longer that is no longer on the menu for the past 6 months, where you can just make it lose its credibility and say, hey, you're mentioning something that we're not serving anymore, and we haven't been serving this for the past 6 months. So maybe you were wrong with the restaurant you're thinking you're reviewing. You're not speaking about us, you're speaking about something else. Here's one option. Option two is you can apologize and explain that it seems what you're reading here is seems off and is not describing why you're doing your job today as a restaurant operators, and you'd like to have more feedback offline. You can give an email address to get this additional feedback. One advice I have for you is to never offer free food or anything free in a customer response, because people, they love free stuff. So the risk behind this is that you can have some customers that will check those every customer now that they check the customer reviews, and if they find out that you're actually giving free stuff for anyone giving you a 1 or 2 star reviews, they will actually enjoy that to give you a 1 or 2 star reviews to get that free food. So never offer free food on a customer response. Have I responded well enough to your question, Barry? My pleasure. And Erin is asking if this applies to social media comments that are reviews or just official reviews. That's a good question. So today on social media, the only social media on which you can review is Facebook. Facebook is both a listing and a social media. So you can have reviews on Facebook and you can have posts and comments on Facebook. We know for sure that TikTok is also working on a reviewing platform, a reviewing system. So for now, you cannot give a review on TikTok. We cannot. Am I? Is that correct? It's not live yet.
Actually, they are testing. It depends on which region you are, but in some regions they already added the comments. But usually they push they take comments from other platforms. So they are not native TikTok comments, but like TripAdvisor comments, for example.
Okay. And so, Erin, to respond completely to your question, we absolutely recommend to respond to all the reviews first and to as many comments as possible. Because if you respond to comments on TikTok and Instagram, for example, well, the algorithm, they will thank you for different things. First, they will understand that this content is generating not only 2 comments, but 4 comments if you respond to all of them. So it looks like it has more engagement. And the second thing you're showing to the algorithm when you're responding to the reviews is actually, again, you're a restaurant operator that takes care of his customer relationship and wants it to be better and blah, 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 blah. So it takes time. That's why we use automation for that. But we do recommend you to respond to all the reviews and to as many comments as you can. My pleasure. So if you have any other questions, please do not hesitate. We have an additional 14 minutes before the end of this webinar. And I wanted now to show you some real examples of how Malou has been helping restaurants in the US. So 3 examples of Malou clients, and you see that they are mentioned on ChatGPT's responses. Those they don't even have the store locator yet, but because they have a very strong Google business profile, because they have exactly the same information, because they exist on more than 60 platforms, and they have exactly the same information on the 60 platforms, because they're getting tons of customer reviews, because they're responding to those reviews, well, they are being identified by ChatGPT as good responses to those requests. And we're very proud this year to have Mila Miami as a client. So I know if some from you are actually coming from Florida, but Mila is a restaurant in Miami Beach, and this year they've been ranked #1 independent restaurant in terms of revenue. So they made $51 million of revenue in 2025. They were already doing great thanks before Malou, to be honest. They were about 40-ish millions, but they were number 5 to 2. But this year they became the #1. And if we look um, at their visibility results, the striking point is that we have an access on the Google. I'm not allowed to show you those results and those numbers, of course, obviously, but I will give you the main insight. When we look at the KPIs to understand whether the restaurant is actually driving more traffic online, we differentiate the traffic coming from the notoriety and from the discovery. Notoriety means you have a strong brand. So people will search let me check your restaurant. They will check for Cuba Libre, for Paladar, for example. They will use the name of your restaurant to find you. It means you have a strong branding. But no one is getting only, maybe McDonald's is, but most of the restaurants, they're not getting business only from the notoriety. They're also getting business from the discovery. And if we look at the past 12 months for Mila Miami, the number of people finding them by discovery, meaning using keywords to search for a place like them, doubled, 2x's additional. So they were able to, and they didn't raise the price at all. They just were able to get much more clients, especially from the people that didn't have them in mind, but they were using keywords or AI queries to search for a place like them. That being said, we still recommend you to never neglect SEO, because in terms of volume, even if AI search is growing so fast, well, SEO is still very strong. So many people, including people like me, sometimes are searching on Google Maps. So we do recommend you to keep working on this. And this is a good example of 3 restaurants, one in Miami Beach, one in Brickell, Miami, and one in New York, that are now ranking #1 on keywords that we know are driving them business. And maybe can you identify 2 things in common with the 3 restaurants that you can see on the screen? I don't know if it's a tough question, but I'll let you try it. And if you don't have the answer, I'll be happy to respond it, obviously. Two things they have in common, besides being number one. No? No one? I'm going to give you a hint. Exactly. High review in volume and high review in rating. They all have more than 1,500 reviews, and they all have more than 4.7. So to have a chance of being selected by ChatGPT and being also selected by Google organically, because we're only speaking about organic today, you need to prove that you are able to generate a decent volume of fresh reviews, but also great reviews. If you're having 10,000 reviews, but actually only having 4.2, you're not going to be performing well, because if you see all the top three, they have 4.3. Actually, Komodo is 4.3, but beside this, they all have more than 4.5. So really, and when I started the business 8 years ago, with my restaurant, we were targeting 4.2. 4.2 was great. Now that today everyone is investing on the online reputation, where competition is harder, so it's not 4.2 that we need to be aiming for. It's 4.5, and people can even now filter on their Google page to only see the 4.5 and plus locations. And voila. So if you want to have any idea on how you're performing today on AI search, you can run also audit with Malou. This is not a public page, but if you're interested, you can hit me a comment or email me. I'll share with you my email. I'll be if you can, well, whether email me or hit me on the chat with the location you want to study to have an information. I'll be happy to run this audit for you and to present it to you. We can do this per location, but we can, if you have 5 locations you want to check, we could do on 5 locations, and we will be happy to present it to you. I'll be happy to present it to you myself. So Alberto has one more question, and the question of Alberto is: AI LM use same algo structure? Do you have the response for that, Amies, or do you need qualification?
Yeah, maybe if you can be a bit more specific, please, Alberto, to some algo structure.
Thank you, Sergio.
Sergio, thank you, Erin. Oh, okay. You mean, are they using the same algorithm structure? I mean, we don't have the exact secret source of each one of these tools, but as I said, what we try to do is that we've run some audits on different customers that are custom Malou customers on different platforms, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and so on. And the 6 rules that we gave you come from common rules, common patterns that we've seen from these 3 tools. So yeah, I don't know if it's clear for you, Alberto, but this is what we experienced. Perfect.
Amazing. Well, thank you, everyone. It was a great webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned things. I hope you learned things that actually are going to be useful for you. And of course, we wish you a huge success and a great holiday season.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And do not hesitate if you have any additional question. I'll be happy to respond to it. So my email is very simple. It's louisa@malou.io. And speak soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.